Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. Just got in here. Pull this stuff up. A couple of things are still loading. Well, it looks like, yesterday we kind of played around in the range here. So it kind of looked like a head and shoulders pattern, and it did end up playing out that way. But it wasn't, it was kind of a funky, this thing right here. Oops. This thing right here was kind of a bit of a head and shoulders, and now we're lower. So I would say it did play out that way, but it's kind of not a very good one, and it was kind of just nothing yesterday. I expect today that we may get more of just kind of nothing. We did push down, and it looks like we bottomed out, and we are moving up. So I think we could maybe get a buy here. And equities are modestly the wrong one. Modestly down. They really sold it hard yesterday, and then it recovered. Now overnight they're down a little bit. We'll see. I think Treasuries could move up though, but we gotta be careful. It's Tuesday, it's a no news Tuesday. Could be a whole lot of nothing. A whole lot of nothing. Well, that's not filling. Okay, so let's grab the links here. Looks like that order never would have filled anyways. Okay. Dill. Good morning. Ooh, there's a new reimagined dashboard.
On the back of tariffs, coal prices. Kaplan.
Well, that doesn't show me it doesn't have a live board though.
Actual
So you seen just kind of had a turn there, but it's like one tick below the previous pivot. It's kind of super light today too on viewers. Not surprised. Looks like everybody decided to sleep in. Just take care of that. There we go. I want to go short. I'm afraid to hit into 21. But the 5-year looks like it's gonna in a downtick. Yeah. Oh, they took 2 really fast.
happening doesn't give inflation will run away.
Well,
It is achieving its moving towards its 2% inflation target. As latitude and the speed of rate hikes, so inflation may challenge.
would be a good 2 ticker there if I had been able to get into that. Yeah, this is what I was afraid of for going short. hitting into it and getting a huge iceberg. Because the 5 year pivoted here before, I think there's a good chance that they're gonna make another push up, and then maybe we can get filled in and see what happens. But they are selling it, right? And it's a pretty significant sell. Yeah. So that tick up, it wasn't a ton. They didn't put a ton up on it either, so there's a chance that we get filled here. Just as long as it's not on some sort of a sweep. Okay. So there it is.
Productivity could be a productivity shifting. They should gradually and patiently.
Okay, that's stacking there. Stacking and pulling, stacking and pulling. Not creating a lot of action though. This 317, the 5 year doesn't look like it wants to pull over. And this 5 at 22 doesn't want to pull either, so I think we've got a good spot. Doesn't mean that it's going to go. I think it's an okay play.
So Kaplan himself says he's comfortable raising rates soon.
3 times between now and June.
In terms of that comment.
Okay, a little bit more of a stack that time. Notice they're not pulling below 2 yet. Ah, there we go.
Yeah,
no flip in the 5 year yet.
Level.
27. Okay, so they're actually stacking there at 22. They're stacking at 21.5 too, of course. They take it. Okay. 5-year tick down. It's good. Not as much pulled at 21. Well, I mean, this says 3,000 pulled, but like, yeah, I'd rather see it at like 1753. There you go. And it's okay. So there's a big yes, good pull. Good pull there.
Running this Kaplan.
Okay, we're gonna move this. If that had stayed 5, then I would be like, okay. This is still going. See. Okay. Here, yes. So I don't know if that 19.5 is going to pull away, is the problem right now. The 5-year is going, though. See, the pressure's not following through here. So that doesn't mean that it couldn't continue, but this is a good profit taking place, plus it is the target at +3. Okay. Hold it, but then there was an iceberg there. May have done the wrong thing there. Alright. think I missed my chance, guys. Man. They really fooled me there. Because they got that fill. I could have held it. Could have been +3. Then ever since that iceberg. And then they haven't given you a chance to get out on the limit. Sorry, sorry, to get out on a limit order. Well, that was 6 at one point, and now it's 4. The 5-year looks like it's going to pressure it further. Should move this. Okay. This is a good spot to get out because this isn't pulling away or anything. But it's going back and forth here at 20. And just kind of the way they're positioned, I think there's a really good chance that we push through this and that this 5 and 19 pulls. It seems to me a little suspicious that when we moved up that they stacked so aggressively, and now we're back down here. 302 is the bottom, so we'll want to see the 5-year tick down to 30. It's kind of iffy. There's a good stack at 20 and the 10. I'm getting lots of volume in the 30. So now the 30 is kind of trying to hold it. Okay. There's the 5 going for it, but running into an iceberg at 330 quarter. Okay. There's definitely a wall here, right? think I better take the 3. Okay. Well, I feel better. And they had that a similar kind of a play yesterday that it wasn't able to really take a whole lot off of. So I'm glad that I was able to figure that one out. It was a little bit of luck though that we had that push up and it came right back down though. It seems like somebody does want to buy it.
Kaplan keeps an eye on the energy markets, how price, how they impact.
Okay, well. Oh, here we go. Michael Pledger. I'm using Jigsaw. Sorry about that. Yeah. JigsawTrading.com. It's about it's about $500 for the platform. And then if you're live trading to enter the orders on the DOM, it's like $50 a month. If you're sim trading, you don't have to pay that though. And good morning, Uzi. Missed you yesterday. So I wanted to know if things sounded different to you because we put up this room treatment you can kind of see behind me to control the echo. So hoping that you'd be able to tell, and since you listen the most, I figured you'd be the most qualified to say. Well, the E-mini is kind of doing some interesting things too. E-mini trade actually looks a little more interesting to me than the treasuries do. Yeah, well, yesterday was a good day to take off, right? It was, oh my gosh. Like, yesterday was like Christmas.
Now set to come at 5:40. Approximate, as parliamentary business is subject to change. We initially thought this was going around 15:30 EST, but it's later now.
That sounds pretty good. Good deal. Yeah, that yesterday, it being Columbus Day and everything, the action was as bad as like that week after Christmas. That week after Christmas is awful trading, and yeah, yesterday was really awful trading. Today has been better, but it's still kind of iffy, I think. This one, I think you could potentially take a long here at 20, but oh, there you go. Somebody just did it. Look at that 6K stack. Wow. Somebody definitely wants to buy it here.
Having a bidding in at reoffer price 1.2 in your basis point over the 20.
You could definitely have taken that one. So I was thinking, like we came down there. I said you could potentially long here, and then it upticked, and there was a 6K stack, and then now that we've ticked up since that, now it's 8K on it. So there's definitely a buyer there trying to hold it. Now we're getting an iceberg. If I was long at 20, I would feel really comfortable with this one. With it at 20 half, I'm a little. I mean, I don't know. And definitely 21, because then you got 21.5 is the spot where they're gonna try and clamp down on it, and then definitely 22. After that, then we're pushing through. Then we can make a new high. But I don't know. And this, we've seen this where it stacks two prices like this, and then you get the downtick and they just pull. So, and that's a very dangerous trade. So I think I don't think I want to buy 20 half, even though it might be a really good opportunity, but it's just not quite the risk for me. That was a significant buy in the 10-year for sure. I think that could lead to some more buying. Is it gonna push through? Yeah. Let's see what's going on right here. 21 half. This is exactly what I was talking about. It's like, it's not gonna just push through at 21 half, because that was the pivot before. And so instead you get they don't really bid very much up, and it's just robots trading it back and forth. And that then becomes an opportunity to short it again, potentially. But since it seems like there's players on both sides that really want to push it through here, and especially since the 30 year is already at highs again and appears to want to push through, I don't think that a short is matches, especially since it would be against the trend. I mean, we're above the VWAP. It sure is a weird that 20. It sure is unusual to see a stack there like that. I mean, that's a big flashing light. Hey, look at me, I'm holding this. Yeah, liquidity is good, volume is decent.
Raymond James cut.
I'd say that the trade is okay. It's just not a very big range. So it's not a very big range. There's no news today. So I don't think that today is a good recipe for a trend to develop. But there does appear to be some big guys on both sides of this acting, and I think that if we are able to get another tick or two up, that we could break a new high. So ZB is breaking new highs.
fractal out.
I should push down here into the voice chat too. The fun. Those big guys were nowhere to be found yesterday. Almost no block trade alerts yesterday. They seem to be back in the game today. Yes. It was definitely I think all of the options floor was closed. So I think that was a big part of it. You know, they are holding an okay bid there. It could do it. Would just require this ZF to do a flip and we could be on our way. You know? Well, Bitcoin just looks very unhealthy to me. You notice here in Bitcoin, we had this push up here, back up to 6,600, and they barely really moved the needle for them. Just seems to me that they want it to go down. Okay, so they took 22 and they're holding the bid there now too. Really could be a new high. Well, maybe I shouldn't get too. This is a bad time to take a trade now. This next half hour always screws me over, right?
I think I'm gonna get out of my long.
They are kind of.
I'm on the offer at 09 right now.
And they are kind of giving you like a.
2 contracts covered. Still got a few more to go.
Yeah, I'm honest.
Seeing they're forming a zipper here.
At 09.
Oh, well, it's not me.
So you get 4 on this one. I do think you did take it off at 22. I do think you take it off at 22, but I have a really hard time seeing it just come back down to that big order at 20.5 and then coming back up again, you know? I don't know. We definitely got a good range going on here. Okay, so you should be filled. So there's definitely some distribution going on here. Okay. I think I should just reset things for here. Now the E-mini is kind of giving us a look like it's going to turn down again here. That's interesting. You notice that since we hit 7 o'clock, it's just distribution at 22 now.
I just went short 05 and
It's going to be wet for a few days down in Florida. It was really nice here, starting like Friday, I think, and then it got really windy and like the hurricane came in and it was just awful. The remnants of a hurricane that came through the west. And yeah, it looks like that moved east. And it got cold. I'm worried that we're going to have a really cold year. That's what's hitting us. Yeah, okay. Move fast. Yeah, so the other thing I changed, here, I'll show you. Hopefully I won't screw it up like I did yesterday, but like I changed the lights and everything so that they're like LED lights now. There's the room treatment, and then I've got it over here too. there's a window there, which isn't optimal. And then there's a chair in the corner. So, like, the lights that I had before were like, you turned it on for even 5 seconds, and that whole light would be like, it would burn you if you touched it. And these LED lights, doesn't matter how long they've been on, it doesn't get hot at all. At all. So before I would never turn that light on because it would make it hot in here. But this morning my feet are actually getting kind of cold. And you can see things a lot better with the light, obviously. So I'm really happy about that too. And the sound treatment makes a big difference. Man, it's really going back and forth there. And so the thing here is there's so much stacked up above us. It'd be interesting if we do come across this range 1 or 2 more times. But it's hard for my mind to see it doing that. Like in my mind, it's like we should bust a new high. But I just know that like the probability of being able to know which one it's going to do is almost impossible for me. So I'm just kind of out. I think that what's going to happen is I'm hoping that when the E-mini opens that there's some selling on the open, and that gives us a good spot to go long in the 2876 area. And we can go long and get a good trade out of the E-mini doing that. That's my hope. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I'm trying to set up a proper studio. My TV does that. Like, what, gets super hot? But yeah, I've been... I mean, when we moved it... so the whole thing that prompted this was I used to have the other computer behind me, right? And I was against this wall. So when we moved the computer that was behind me over to there, the echo got so much stronger. I could not stand it because I can hear myself in the microphone. That's a really nice thing about this Blue Yeti. So you can hear yourself, which I think is really cool because it's annoying at first, but it kind of helps you hear how you talk, and you kind of change how you talk, and it's nice. Anyways, I think it improves how you talk. But yeah, I couldn't stand the echo. So then I was like, well, let's get some room treatment, because I had some money that we had gotten through the Patreon that was like, oh well, not even that. I sold my mixer was what it was. But I sold there's like a new mixer coming out, so I sold my mixer. It really looks like it probably is going to break a new high now, I think. But I want to see like maybe this 24 and then see what happens. I don't know if the risk is worth it at 22.5. So you take the as she goes, or sorry, the before she goes level break trade. They might just do this and catch you and go back here. I don't know. It's a tough call for me. Anyways, I sold the mixer, and I downsized on the mixer, so that's where I got the money from, and then I supplemented it a little bit with the Patreon for like $100 or something, so that you guys have a good sound. And but then I started getting into it. Like, there's this great program called Room EQ Wizard, and you connect your microphone to this thing, and it will play a test sound that's like a sweep, and it will tell you the acoustic properties of the room. So I spent like all day Saturday moving things, changing where the desk was and everything, and so that's kind of why we changed things around to like have the desk facing this way, because it's actually better acoustically if it's the long side behind you, you know? Anyways, I need to switch this back, I forgot. So, And it's better for the thing to not be like right up next to the wall. At least for me with these speakers it is, because I tested that. You know, since getting married, it's not perfect. I still, the biggest problem is the glass doors, I think. So I think what's going to happen in the long run is probably going to get some pictures up on the wall over here with some absorbing material behind those, so that wall isn't reflecting so much. And then over here, I will get some panels that I can just
Sitting here
move.
crying about being 58 in the queue on 10. They don't want to sell it. 3 in the queue on 10. Gonna go long.
And then that would stop the back and forth. And at some point I might get some more here for the front, and also base traps for the bottom corners. So I got these upper corners.
Finally traded size into
That right there.
23 in the 10.
But the base tends to congregate in the corners, so you put them in the corners, and that makes a big difference. That was the biggest difference, was putting those in the corners. So, anyways. Bed curtain. Yeah, it's just a regular curtain. I was looking online, and these guys, they made this curtain that's like semi-transparent, and it reduces sound going through it by like 20 decibels or something like that. I was really surprised, because I've seen ones that you get this really huge heavy curtain and it actually doesn't absorb, especially not the low frequencies. And I really want that. But then when I look online for it, like, I can't find a place to actually buy it. It's like, this company, they have it, but like, I don't know how you get it. Maybe it's like super expensive. But that would be nice to put over those double doors over there. But I think what's going to end up happening is I'm just going to have to get a panel that I can, you know, with a stand that I can just move in front of the door when I need to.
Yeah,
Or
they pulled 1,000 there off of 23 and a half.
It's going to go.
100, a little less than 2 traded. There we go. Definitely gonna lift. I bet.
Then we see 24, and maybe it gives us a trade.
24 where there. You have 24 pulled. However, we did just lift. Oh, well, there we go. They lifted 112 even, the 5-year.
Block by.
Holy cow.
Okay, so that's interesting.
Yeah, see, nothing pulled off of that 24, did it? At the 30-year ladder. Remember, they lifted 23 and a half.
Yeah, I see the next resistance level being 14, based on the overnight and yesterday and overnight. Yeah. Uh, 11s and then 14s was the high of yesterday.
Yep.
Was none of that, not only did none of that pull, but that was a big block order buying into it, and they immediately went off again. So somebody definitely putting on the brakes here at 23.5.
Yeah, I was looking at, I think, the 30-year ladder whenever I guess I missed it. I really wanted to see if anything pulled that 20, that it didn't.
Nice big offer on Ian at 24.
Yeah, you see that. I'll show you the picture. I think it's gonna leave without me. I don't know if I want to take 23. We'll try it. 5 years been awfully shaky here.
I'm out, guys. I got my fill at 10.
Nice.
One off. No. I'm so salty about that.
Okay. Getting filled on an iceberg, that's good. It gives me a good target too. I think they're gonna have a hard time at 22, so that's kind of where I might be looking to take a profit at 22 if it ticks down. A little concerned about where the E-mini is. Okay. Hmm. So this is a strange place to be zippering. Holding right there, see? Okay. So that time they hit it and it didn't go bid.
In the last 10 minutes, 12,000. Have bought 23. The offer, and 9,200 have sold. 23 bid.
I don't know if I'm actually going to take my E-mini trade now. Got like... Okay. Well, that needs to pull in the 5-year in order for this to... Okay, they flipped. I don't know. Need to calm myself here. the timing and everything is, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I can hold this, and it's zippering here is unusual. And I did not necessarily get the price that I wanted at 23.5, you know. So if it just zippers back and forth here, it's kind of... I don't know. But I'm thinking, because today's kind of weird, because my wife is already gone. So at like 7:45, oh, look at that, there's a big stack that time. At 7:45, I have to go wake the kids up and get them started on getting ready. So, but that's, I don't know what it was about that. It was something about Treasuries zippering there makes me uncomfortable. And if the E-mini takes a dive on the open, Treasuries are going to push up. So it seems to me that the trade here doesn't really make sense with the time and everything else is going on. So that's why I took it off. Maybe it's going to go through and then I'm going to regret it. But it's still there. Okay, so like I said, I kind of want to see it pushed down. Just like that, but that's not enough. Okay, they did take a tick down. I think
That
I'm
wasn't solid. 7 3/4 in the 2-year there, along with 1,000 hitting through the 31.5 bid 5-year. But they don't want to post a good offer there at 31.5.
no, I don't. See, it does look to me like they're going short. I mean, the volume you can see is short, but it hasn't broken yet. And here's exactly why I was worried about being short in ZN. Okay. So they're run into a little bit of supply here.
There we go.
So that right there in the E-mini should be a short for a little bit at least. Then we can come back to this spot here. Somewhere around here. Somewhere around here. You can see that there's some size, good size there to buy
Yeah, that was
it.
a big sell there at 21.5 and 30. Oh, and they finally sold. Let's see, sold the 7 3/4 bid in the 2-year. Marching down. A 500 immediately buys 22. That's odd.
Look at that.
Got 2200 that bought 21.5 back after it went offer, and then the second it goes bid again, they buy 500 into 22 even. So 10K still off.
It did not quite give me something on the short side to say buy it.
The pit VWAP beneath. $21.5 is the pit VWAP.
Okay, see that stack right there.
I'm trying to. Oh well, I am sure.
There we go.
Yes, is pulled pretty quick there. Pretty light volume. They lifted 7 and here again. According to some of the guys in the pit, the two 10-year influencing each other a lot.
Mm. So there was 800. It looks like they're going to go and make a new low, though. I mean, I would be like really surprised if they didn't. Okay. There's 6. So then. And that one is the one that I don't like. So we're kind of fighting around here. See?
So the VIX market
Dang.
doesn't think that this selling is over in equities. The October VIX is, or the October contract, futures contract, has 7 days left, and it's 20 points higher than November and 15 points higher than roughly 15 points higher than December. However, the November and December spread it's still, sub 10, but November is still under December. Anyway, there's risk premiums there that probably worth watching if you're trying to keep up with what VIX is, what the VIX thinks about where equities are headed, or if we're gonna finally price all this risk out.
No. You know what? It's okay. I kind of saw the spot and I didn't get filled. That's what happened. Might give me another chance here. Let's see. Okay, so it's fighting quite a bit at 83. Nope. See, that was another chance. I'm wondering. That buy was pretty pathetic. Okay. Not what I expected. So that should come back a bit. Okay, well, I think we missed it. Maybe we get the long down here now. 7. So 74. Math doesn't line up. I wanted to see a long somewhere around 76, but when you do the math on this, it could go to 74. Okay.
And still nothing wants to pull off of that 24 offer. What is it, about 500 that pulls off? Let's see, it's 74. Yeah, well, 700. But most of it stays. See, I can feel it. It's like it's fixing to just get
Big
shredded.
absorption at 23.5 though. Could be starting
Yeah.
to flip.
But yeah, I think that has everything to 24 offer. I mean, in the last 10 minutes, 51 have traded on the bid side and 53 have traded in the offer in at 23.5. That's just in the last 10 minutes. There's just no, I mean, since we've been up here, it's like what, 40 have traded into 24. It's just not enough.
BB wants to go up though, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, this flattening doesn't look like it's going to stop. We're about to go off for -4 points on the day. There's some decent buying in Z9, which is usually pretty correlated with the 10-year.
Okay, fine.
That's Z9 Eurodollars, by the way.
When I do the math on that head and shoulders pattern in the E-mini, it would take it to a new low. So I think that some bonds may be buying up on expectations of that. Like this is where I wanted to be short from, really.
So you're talking about a head and shoulders pattern in the ES, like on a daily chart?
No, just on like 1,000 tick.
Oh, okay.
Just since the open. On the open, they had a push, and then they had a bigger push to and that was the head, and then they just did a shoulder and failed. It wasn't like super strong selling on the shoulder, but I think it qualifies. So it's not like a guarantee. It's like a 60%, right? I just goofed that one up, didn't I? I hear children waking up, so maybe I don't need to go help them.
Looks like ES could be failing the mid VWAP area again. It'll be twice now. If it fails, that 83.75. Looks like Treasuries are waiting to see if that's gonna happen or not.
Yeah, they seem to be fighting over whether it's going to make a new pivot high or not. All right, now the sellers are winning it, but the buyers came awfully close that last try.
$84.5 in the ES is final. If it beats that, I could see it being pretty strong. Well, there you go.
Okay, well that one didn't do it, so I think it's not gonna work.
Sellers are right. Just for now, anyway. 88.5 is what initial swing high.
Yeah, sometimes you get that like head test failure thing too, though. I'd have to say that the signal did not turn out there. Some pretty big absorption right here, though.
Yes.
Yeah, they're hitting thousands now. Around 28.88. Well, that's okay. So this in the E-mini, obviously I took too many. Should have just been the one. I don't know. And I missed some good spots too, but now I think I
Pull that
should
22.25.
step away for a bit.
I mean, at 22.5, I mean. Gonna staying strong.
Kind of a weak breakout on ES, I feel. Like it just kind of went up like a tick and then shot down like another tick.
It's definitely not running yet.
Where's the sleep? Maybe a sleep eventually. Just
The deltas all seem to line up and everything, but a little, yeah. I don't think that you could just say that it came up back up there, that we're just going up in the E-mini for sure. You kind of got, I know there's kind of weird things with heads and shoulders, right? Because there's not just the pattern and like false ones, but there's also the question of how far it goes. So that one you could probably say it was a true head and shoulders, but it didn't reach the full shoulder to head target. It came down to like one standard deviation below the VWAP and turned around there instead.
Apparently, a lot changes in 20 seconds. In your
Okay, well, I'm not going to
What?
take any more trades.
That was great.
What?
Well, maybe we'll take one in.
Not expect that.
Well, I was just saying, like, I think anything above 11 is potentially a buying opportunity, but I wasn't expecting it to be that good of a deal.
That was a little crazy, wasn't it?
Just can't make up its mind.
This action that I'm seeing here in Treasuries is awfully messy. That's not the. That's not what I want to see.
Short 11 in the 30.
Okay, well, I don't know if they're going to take any more trades here, and you take out the E mini, you did pretty okay. Well, that I'm happy with what I did in the 10-year. So we're gonna step away for a little bit. And I'll check up on it before I leave. YouTube is stealing your likes somehow.
I'm out 13 -2.
This in Treasuries right now looks like a really kind of messy trade. I think you definitely want to have the right risk. Like if I'm gonna buy it, it's got to be at 23, because there's no way that I want to buy at 24 and then it just clamp down again or fail that, and it's been spiky things, like they're trying to, there's a lot of FOMO going on here.
So the curve's trying to maybe steepen back out a little bit here. Got a good bid now posted at 08 in the 2-year. 30-year doesn't want to move up with everybody else though. Curve steepens a bit. Yeah, the 600,000 move from the offer at 8.25, now offered at 8 even. I mean, a bid at 8 even in the 2-year.
See, this whole thing kind of looks like they want to buy bonds, but they screw around with it every which way to try and shake people out as it does it. Because they sure messed around a lot down there at the bottom, and when they did go, there was a lot of spikes up, and then they immediately came back down 4 ticks, and then it went.
What I'm talking about, this is talking about on my screen like all night. It's just it looks like it takes a lot of contracts to get down, and then we move up on low volume, and we hold there. So I think I've been sitting underwater on a lot of trades. Just hold on to them for a bit longer on a lot of longs, because I'll buy near the top, but it'll go down and test the support and hold it like a champ, and then it'll spike up again. And we're kind of priming, I feel like, to make new highs across all the bonds. Like I was saying before, I think anything from like 12 to 14, even 11 on GD is like a good buying opportunity.
Well, the problem you got now is you're running up into yesterday's highs, in the 10-year at least.
Yeah, but if it breaks, get all the upside. So this could be kind of the last retest before we finally go higher. That's kind of what I've noticed a lot today. Tested 11. Now we're failing to trade below 13 on ZB. Got a big bid.
Well, I see a step in the profile in ZB. There was a step in the profile on the 5th at 17. And then there's kind of some crazy pivots there between 18, 27, and 138. So
we're at 14s now because yesterday's high, I believe. So hopping around here, I think it's pretty normal.
there's the E-minis failing there. This one could be 1, 2. You can have a head without two shoulders. Yeah. Oh, they're talking about it in the Bonds Discord. It's like that one was a true head and shoulders. It's just it didn't reach like the long target. Like the good target that I like to go for is the distance between the shoulder and the head. It didn't quite get there. That probably would have took us to new low, I think. Now I'm looking at this one in the E-mini. Again, similar sort of a pattern. And notice the cumulative delta. And they're selling it pretty hard. If there is a head with no shoulders, it's an uptrend. Yeah, you get the weird. I mean, the thing is the head and shoulders is not a complicated pattern, really, right? It's just failure to make a new high is what it really is. So think about it from an order flow perspective. If we come up and we go to make a new high, and there's some big ginormous iceberg order up there preventing people from getting in. And then after it ticks, they squeeze them a little bit and then all those guys start puking. What are you going to do? You're going to go short. That's just order flow. But what you see on the chart is a head and shoulders pattern, right? So that's where I say like a head and shoulders pattern was really just where's my book? Yeah, it's way over there. I'm not going to go grab it. But, the guys that originally wrote that technical analysis book, they were floor traders. They were floor traders, and they were watching order flow. And they said, based on the order flow, it looks like more people are selling. And they could tell because they could see the market orders. You can't go in and say, oh, there's a head and shoulders pattern, but when it came down, there was actually really heavy buying here, then it's not a head and shoulders. That's not the accelerating sell volume. That's like they're going to catch it and they're going to take it up again. And then you get something like then you get something like this. That can happen. You want to see on the cumulative delta. That was a bad picture. Let me try it again. Okay. Cumulative delta, you want to see similar sort of a thing. Like that. Right? So what you can see is the selling wasn't as strong on the second push. This is CD and this is price, right? The cumulative delta wasn't as strong on the right shoulder, and then when they sold, it was steep. It was much steeper. Okay? So now let's compare it to this one. So here's shoulder, head, shoulder, and what's happening in the delta. Well, here's one, and one, and that one's a little bit lower. And then what's this right here? Right? See the slope of that? Accelerating sell volume on the right shoulder. So you take it right there, and they did it with Gutso. And then hopefully you want to get from here to here to go down to here. But it didn't do that. It went to the VWAP instead. So that one, it was a real head and shoulders pattern, but it didn't reach the full target. But it was still a confirmed signal that worked and you could have made money on.
4.5 did, but just won't go.
I'm seeing kind of an ascending triangle, by the way, on ZB. So I'm still biased on the long. I'm actually long at 15. I'm gonna crack the price to be long now, but I'm trying to play the breakout. So we're seeing kind of this testing at the 16 level multiple times, and we keep seeing lower or higher lows each time we spike down.
It seems like they're doing something really weird in ZB because they're starting to sell it quite a bit more aggressively here. So you might either it's going to turn around, or if it makes a new high, it could be pretty spectacular because you got the volume imbalance now, whereas before it was just kind of bubble up.
I was hoping for this spectacular new highs across the board kind of play. So we can go down to this like 13, 14 level again on ZV, and that would still be totally in line. But we start trading 12s and 11s again, and that ascending triangle is gone. But I had this same setup yesterday, and we basically broke the triangle, tested the other side of the range, and it blew up on the other side. So still the possibility of that happening. That's what they like to do. Markets is just like stuff with people. So ES has gone up and recovered and is near the highs again. So I'm kind of curious to see if we actually react to that, or if we just kind of hang out at these prices that we're at now.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was pointing out kind of the stoppiness and choppiness of the move, because I think that what happens is when you have a no news day, there's not like the really big institutional players coming in. Apparently there's still reason for us to move up, and it looks like it's maybe driven partly by currencies. So if you're doing that and you want to go long, where are you going to get the contracts from? So now it becomes worth it for them to try and screw over all of the locals and the retail traders. So that's when I think it's really important to either, I mean, if you have a big enough stop, you can do that, but otherwise you just really got to make sure that you get the right risk and don't be buying it as it tries to break the high. You got to buy it down at the bottom of the range.
Well, I'm buying it. It tries to break the high and took like 4 ticks of heat. But it's still looking alright. It's all within my risk factor, so I don't like being underwater, but watching this play out, watching the orders, I'm still feeling along. I think if anyone bought at 11, 12, 13s, 14s even, they should still be this. We did lose that big the big bid behind us on ZB at 13, so I wonder if that's going to have any effect on this.
Trump says he has a big announcement with Nikki Haley
Uh-oh.
at 10:30.
How long is that from now? 8 minutes?
Yep.
I'll have to find it.
Yep.
Yeah, I presume that's what he said. Yeah.
No, why Trump?
But
I
with
meant this
Nikki
stuff-
Haley's probably not. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it probably won't mess with market because she just resigned from the U.S. ambassador to the UN, and so I guess she's switching roles. I think she'd be a better press secretary.
Did she? I didn't know that she resigned from the. What would they put her as?
That broke 15 at 9:05.
Oh, okay. Hold on then. Let me look here. It's about time for me to go, but I want to. So what I'm reading was that Trump officials were surprised that she resigned, but so if that's the case, then it wouldn't necessarily be a moving her out because they found her a better position. I don't know about this. Interesting. Well, I guess we'll find out in 8 minutes.
Maybe she's wanting to run in 2020, and so that's why she resigned.
I like the buy here at 23.5. If I was gonna buy, I think that'd be where I'd have to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get filled at 23.
I think for TV, buying at 12s, 13 seems to be a good play. Risking maybe 9 or 10.
This is where it gets hard though, because it's like that's the right risk reward location, but are we really going to continue and go and make a new high? I think given some of the other things about the action, especially that there was that big wall at 24 earlier, and sometimes you have a tendency to go through the wall, and then after they've gone through the wall once, then they come back.
We're starting to get some walls behind us, right? Like we got 8,000 absorbed at 23.5 and like 7,000 at 24.5. So I don't know.
Yes,
I mean,
it's true.
it's a hard read. I'll definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I guess I see a case for it to do either one, and I don't really know which one it's going to do.
Yeah. In that situation, you just don't take the trade, right? If you're getting these mixed signals and mixed feelings.
Yeah. Well, it's better to get like that one that was earlier when we got the 8K stack. That was a good signal. That was a really good signal. Rarely do you get one that obvious that plays out as well as that one did. There's your tick. Okay, well, I think it's time for me to end it. So I screwed up the E-mini trade. That really should have only been one trade, right? But I just didn't quite get the risk that I wanted, and then this one it did go and break. So, and we missed an earlier one at like 84 was really where we wanted to sell. I think we missed that one. So I think what happened was we missed the trade, and then we were trying to go short when we should have been getting out. So I think I'm still kind of figuring out the E-mini, but I only screwed it up once, so that's okay. If I just do that every day and practice it. But on the Treasuries, which is the one that really matters, yesterday we got 1 tick, today we got 3 ticks, and we only took 1 trade, and I think we were pretty good selection. I had some other ones like this one right here.
Fun, getting pretty close
23.
to mid.
Oh, that one kind of went.
Makes new highs.
That one went
US stocks. Pretty sure they're making new highs.
to 22, 21.5.
And October VIX is below November VIX, so that's good.
I don't know if I would have gotten out of that one at the right time, though. So anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow. We got CPI, and then we should have some real fireworks.
Like the VIX market is totally, just about completely priced all of